All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to call to order our regular school board meeting here on April 27th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Woodford County Central Office. Roll call, we have all board members here and in person. And I'm going to invite our Northside students to stand up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And the flag is right here to everyone's left. Thank you very much, Northside. All right, next we are going to have a moment of silence for a prior principal of Woodford County, Ken Tippett. And before we go into our moment of silence, I'm going to invite Mr. Wilson to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When I was first elected to the school board, it was November of 1984. And when I took office in January of 1985, one of the first people I met was Ken Tippett. He was principal at the high school. He was our longest serving principal from 1973 to 1988. And then in 1988, he transitioned to central office where he became assistant superintendent of special projects. And he was there until 91, and then he went he left us to go to KHSAA, where he was their principal fundraiser, and he loved athletics and he loved that group, so that was a great place for him to end his career. One of the several things I picked up from talking to Mr. Tippett at the very beginning was that he was a gentleman. He cared deeply about his students and the people who worked with him in the building. And if he ever told you anything, you never had to think about it because it was the truth. And it was to help students, and it was to help the teachers and staff at the high school. In 1989, the Supreme Court of Kentucky overruled the way we funded our schools, said it was unconstitutional, it wasn't fair to all the counties. And then in 1990, KERA, the Kentucky Education Reform Act, passed. And you talk about anxiety, stress, nobody knew what was going on. Everything changed in 1990. And having Mr. Tippett at the high school, at the central office then, was a huge success, because he had the ability not to get involved in the drama, not to get involved in what everybody was thinking, but doing what was right. He just always did what was right, and he helped us so much to implement KERA. There is an excellent article in the Woodford Sun by Scott White, who tells us all about Mr. Tippett, what he did at the high school. And he's got a lot of quotes from people like Chantel and David Noble. I would suggest that you read it because it's very good. And I'd like to end my words by quoting what Scott White said in his article. And this was the last paragraph. What a man, what a life, what a leader, what a dear friend. I love you too, Mr. Tippett. Enjoy the eternal fruit of a life well lived. And all of our thoughts and prayers go to his wife Sharon. They were married 63 years, and his children and grandchildren and all the many friends that he had. To say that Mr. Tippett was a good guy it's not enough. He was a great guy, and we were blessed to have had him in this system. We also lost another educator last week. We lost Chappie Maston, who was a high school math teacher for many, many years. He taught all kinds of higher math, trig, AP, whatever, and he was wonderful. We always heard stories about how he would encourage people, don't be scared of higher math, don't be scared of AP, we can do this together, and they did. So those are two educators we've lost in the last week, and our thoughts and prayers go out to both of them for their service and to their families. and we're very, very thankful that they have memories to carry them through. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. And I'll invite everyone to observe a moment of silence for those two educators. Thank you, everyone. All right, next, do we have any proposed amendments to the agenda? All right, next we're going to go into our superintendent's report. And I'll invite Miss Bailey up because we have some recognitions. And also invite the board to step in front so that we can hand out those recognitions.
Is it on? Yes, perfect. Okay, good evening, everyone. If you're being recognized tonight, I will read a highlight about you, and then at the conclusion of your highlight, you'll come forward and we have a nice plaque for you, and then we'll get a photo, okay? We'll do it one at a time. All right. As we prepare to recognize tonight's recipients, please keep in mind that nominations for the Hive Award are accepted year-round. If you'd like to nominate someone for their innovation, vision, and excellence, please email Jessie Rayburn at the central office, and she will provide you with the nomination form. We are always looking for more stories of excellence to share, starting with the 3 we have for you this evening. So our first recipient, she is actually not here tonight, but we're going to recognize her anyway. She's a little under the weather, and it's Miss Anna Nolan. It is an honor to present the Hive Award for harvesting innovation, vision, and excellence to a cornerstone of Simmons Elementary, Anna Nolan. She doesn't just teach, she serves as a vital leader on the SBDM Council, the Social Studies Curriculum Committee, and as the chair of the PBIS team, where she helped craft the roadmap for our students' social and emotional growth. Ms. Nolan is a visionary educator who doesn't just embrace change, she leads it, ensuring that our youngest learners have the highest quality resources in a nurturing environment where they are truly seen, valued, and heard. Yet it is the work Miss Nolan does when the school day ends that truly defines her excellence. From coaching the cross-country team to sitting in the front row at birthday parties, sports games, and dance recitals, Miss Nolan is a constant, loving anchor in the lives of her students. She understands that her role isn't just to teach a curriculum, but to help build a foundation. Long after her students have outgrown their kindergarten desks, they carry with them the life-changing confidence of knowing that their very first teacher never stopped showing up for them. Our second recipient tonight is someone whose presence has become a cornerstone of safety and community at Woodford County Middle School. It is an honor to present the Hive Award to Officer John Carmichael. Whether he is braving the elements to direct hundreds of cars each day or offering innovative solutions to streamline our daily traffic flow, Officer Carmichael approaches every task with a level of dedication that is truly unmatched. From responding to medical emergencies with a steady hand to helping a student find a lost item with a friendly smile, he embodies a standard of character and professional excellence that serves as a model for us all. However, Officer Carmichael's greatest impact isn't found in a traffic pattern, but in the hearts of the students he mentors. He has the unique ability to look past the surface and see the potential waiting to be unlocked, specifically dedicating his time to a student who has experienced tremendous growth under his guidance. By helping that young person envision a bigger, brighter future for themselves, Officer Carmichael is doing more than just keeping our school safe. He is ensuring our students know they are worth the extra time, proving that the most important badge a person can wear is the one that says, "I believe in you." Thank you, Officer Carmichael. Yep. With our final recognition of the night, we honor an individual who serves as a compassionate contributor for our students' futures. It is a privilege to present the Superintendent's Hive Award to high school counselor, Miss Caitlin Atkins. This year, she saw a need for a deeper understanding of the 504 process and took it upon herself to master it, turning a complex system into accessible paths for students and families. Ms. Atkins' vision ensures that every student she serves, regardless of their challenges, is equipped with a tailor-made plan for success, delivered with a level of follow-through and professional excellence that is second to none. Beyond the paperwork and the planning, Ms. Atkins is a tireless advocate whose empathy makes a large high school feel like a personal community. She is the steady, reliable source of guidance for those navigating the often turbulent waters of adolescence, ensuring that every student feels seen, heard, and deeply valued. Ms. Atkins isn't just helping students graduate, she is teaching them that they are worthy of being championed. To many of our students, Ms. Atkins is the bridge between who they are and who they hope to become, proving that even in the most uncertain moments, they never have to walk toward their future alone. Congratulations, Ms. Atkins.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. And next, we're moving into our superintendent remarks. Turn it over to Dr. Jones.
Well, good evening, everyone. It feels like April has just flown by. I did have a few things that I wanted to recognize and special shout outs. This is the time of year when we see the portrait of a learner come to life. We see what it's really all about, and we see all the work that every single person, including family members, staff members, community members, when they've poured all of these efforts into our students, this time of year is where we see it actually come to life. And so some of those individuals you'll see pictures of here, but I wanted to share one of the organizations or categories of organizations that really helps move this forward is our career technical student organizations like FCCLA, FFA, TSA, and we've had some incredible showings of our students really stepping up and just demonstrating those attributes of our portrait of a learner in Woodford County. And I also wanted to thank several people who did a fabulous job planning and carrying out our Superintendent Academic Excellence Awards night. It was wonderful. Our students who were recognized really appreciated it, and it was just a wonderful night of recognition for them. I also wanted to recognize Mrs. Browning. She was named the Central Kentucky Educational Cooperative Outstanding Educator, Special Education. She's phenomenal, and we just want to honor her as well. And then also Southside Elementary has been recognized as a model in project-based learning, and they've had several schools come and visit them, and they've just done a tremendous job of really trying to embrace and also integrate project-based learning in some wonderful ways. Did want to remind us of sort of our timeline with the budget. We will get our SEEK forecast here probably within this week or next week. And then we will have our our budget work session on May 12th. And then our board meeting is the following Monday on the 18th. So once we have that SEEK forecast, we'll know kind of what our revenue or the money coming in looks like for us as a district, and that will allow us to make final staffing in all of our schools and at the district, and then the board will adopt a tentative budget in May. So just wanted to remind everyone of how that process works. And then this month, I was blessed to be able to continue to be supported by the Kentucky Association of School Administrators in my new superintendent training, and we learned about leadership practices on April 16th. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. All right, we're going to go into our good news report, and I'm going to start with Ms. McEntee down there.
So if you all aren't on Facebook, prom happened on Saturday. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the junior class, because if you didn't know, the junior class is solely responsible for planning, decorating for prom, and they have just done an amazing job. I was able to help out a little bit as a senior, but you know, I have to let them take hold of it. I was in charge of it last year, and it is a lot. They raised over $12,000 in prom ticket sales, which that will go entirely to their senior funds next year, which all of that money is so incredibly needed. Things are just getting more expensive. So I just wanted to give an incredible shout out to the junior class for their hard work and dedication into getting prom planned this year.
Ms. McCowan?
All right, I just want to say congratulations. We had 2 students at WCHS that earned first place honors at the state STLP competition on Friday. Tessa Montgomery was first in book cover design, and Ian Mattingly placed first in web coding. So that's wonderful. I'm very proud of them. I know their families and their school is proud of them, and just want to tell them great job. So congratulations to those 2.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Chairman, Martha and I'd like to go to the track right out here on Wednesdays. And they don't know who I am. I'm just out there walking and running with them. And I've been able to see the lacrosse team, softball team practice, football team. But the team I would like to give a shout out to is the middle school sprint track team. There's 20 of them. They're led by Coach Wilson. Coach Wilson was a student at Woodford County High School, ran track for Wally Cook, and she's giving back by doing this. And the students, there were 20 of them, and they were delightful. Everything was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It was just, when we get to see our students in those situations where they don't know who we are, you just get to see how good they do. And Coach Wilson was absolutely fantastic with them. They looked at her with the utmost respect, and it was just neat. And, you know, I really enjoy seeing that. So I want to give out a shout out to that 20-member sprint team of the middle school. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Dr. Gould?
I'm going to give another middle school shout out to the girls and boys soccer team. They are currently, as we speak, playing in their tournament, their first round. So I just want to wish them the best of luck. Millie's brother is on the team, so I'm just really excited for them as they compete in their tournament. I also had the pleasure of going to the ribbon cutting for the Ag Barn, and it is a phenomenal space. I really enjoyed hearing our students speak. I was incredibly touched by how meaningful the barn was to them in many different ways. I was joined with some of my fellow board members and our superintendent, so it was a great experience to be able to be out there with those young people, and then go into the greenhouse the next day to the greenhouse sale. And if you all have not been, I encourage you to go. I was able to get things for my garden, lots of hanging baskets. It was just a beautiful bounty of plants, and that does a great job to raise funds for our ag department, as well as our CTE showcase, just to seeing all those things that those young individuals were doing. So I have a middle schooler. I'm excited for what the future brings as he transitions to the high school next year, because you guys are doing great things, as well as all of our schools in our district. So I just wanted to highlight those opportunities that I had this month.
Thank you. Ms. Springate?
Yes, I just think there are so many wonderful opportunities and happenings and activities this past school year, and we've only got a little bit left. I mean, we are really almost in the home stretch at this point. So I'm thankful that Northside got to come out tonight to perform for us. I always love your all's performance. You guys are amazing, and hope that everyone just has a safe wrapping up the school year and really just gets to enjoy and love every moment.
Thank you. And for my part, I'd like to recognize the high school students that were selected for Governor's School of either Arts or Entrepreneurial or the Governor's Program. And so Claire Adkins, Annabelle Ahn, Noah Bennett, Sarah Bradley, Madison Cabell, Evie Hall, Jacob Head, Sarah Kyle, Amelia Miller, Emerson Probus, Robin Ray, Brianna Walker, and then there were also alternates Jose Alejandro, Lucy Danks, Chloe McKellen, and Salvador Gonzalez. So congrats on all of those. I know the application process is a lot, and so really happy that they made the program. And also second, that the Ag Barn and the greenhouse was an amazing experience. It was funny seeing it the greenhouse being very full of everything that they've been putting together, and then the next day it was pretty cleaned out. So that's always a good thing. All right, so we will move on, and I'm really excited about this. So I want to bring up Northside and their Alice in Wonderland performance.
Cards line up in your line. Cat, Marley, go this side. Line up in your line.
Also want to share, if you all see us looking at our monitors, it's because we can see you from the front, not that we're not paying attention. Just FYI.
Yes, come in front. Go ahead.
I'm Robin Taylor. I'm the proud principal of Northside Elementary. Before we get started on some other amazing things that are going on at Northside, I am so excited to have Erin and part of our cast from Alice in Wonderland. She always does an amazing job, and she absolutely did not disappoint this year, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Great. Good evening. We're excited to come out today and just share a sampling from kind of the end of the show. So this is after Alice has ventured through all of Wonderland, and she has finally reached the Queen of Hearts. The selection, so just kind of a little bit of background of our show. We did have 57 this year in the cast and crew of 3rd through 5th graders. It's about average of what we've run the last 3 or 4 years as our show. So the group in front of you today are the Royal Cards. We've got one of the 3 Cheshire Cats here, Alice, and the Queen of Hearts, and of course the White Rabbit. So I'm gonna go back to run the music and let them take it away from here and share with you a selection of a couple songs and a scene from Alice in Wonderland Jr. Set it on the floor too. Got it. Leave it on.
Attention, attention, all inhabitants, subjects, direct or indirect objects of Wonderland. Fall to your knees and tremble before Her Majestic Majesty, Her Royal Regality, yes folks, your favorite monarch, the one, the only, the Queen of Hearts.
Painting my roses red. Who's been painting your roses red? Who dares to taint with vulgar paint the royal flower bed? For painting my roses red, someone will lose his head. Your Majesty, please, it's all his fault. You would you? You say? Not me, the say. That's enough. Your miracle stuff. Enough of your scarlets and crimson vermilions and rouges and cherries and reds. Up with your heads. Your
Hubbub.
Hubbub.
Silence. We speak the Queen's English here, you know, Miss Woodwell.
And my name's Alice.
Alice? That's impossible. Everyone knows Alice doesn't live here anymore.
Well, that looks true, I guess, because all I want to do is find my way back home.
Her way home? Your way home? You'll find my way home. It will cut off your head. It'll be who I say you are, no one else. Do you understand me?
No, nothing makes sense here.
And don't you forget it. Now, before you go anywhere else, you're going to have to beat me in Wonderland's favorite pastime.
Wonderland's favorite pastime? Well, Your Majesty, I bet you want to play our game of croquet with upside down flamingos as masks, right?
My dear young girl, that is so 19th century. Sorry. I want to play Simon Says.
Simon Says! Simon Says?
All royal cards on deck for the royal tournament of Simon Says, because the Queen says so. That's why.
Simon says curtsy. Simon says bow. Simon says touch your nose. Simon says meow. Simon says swim back stroke. Simon says freeze like a statue. Simon says jump. Simon says get as low as you can possibly go. Now stand up. I didn't say Simon says. Opposite heads. I see you've played this game before. Oh, I love Simon Says.
But does Simon love you, I wonder? Simon says stand up. Time for the lightning.
Simon says hop on one leg. Simon says do jumping jacks. Simon says throw it like a ball. Simon says melt like melt. Simon says walk on water. Simon says scrape your toes. Simon says tap dance. Simon says hold ground. Stand up. Simon says stand up. Simon says hold one foot behind your back and wave your arms and sing at the top of your lungs. Oh, I love that song. Stop singing before my ears explode. My ankles, my stirrups. Go cards, drag it away.
But you didn't say Simon Says.
Thank you, Northside. Y'all did an amazing job. And I got to go on Friday night too, so I got to see the whole performance. Y'all did fantastic. So thank you so much for sharing your talents. All right. I think we're going to move into, I'll give parents and everybody a chance if you want to head out. It is.
I have a couple of other students who are going to come up and talk about our house system, so I'm going to go ahead and welcome them up.
My name is Lauren Parker. I'm the dean at Northside, and one celebration that we're really excited about this year is our house system and our launch of that. It was new to us this year. And I'm just going to speak a little bit to the timeline that we chose. And when I say we, our leadership team. And so in the fall, we spent a lot of time just educating both our staff and our students about the house system. What's the purpose? We wanted to educate them all about the characteristics of each house. And so we spent a lot of time in students' classrooms. We all read the same book so they could really understand the point of that house system. Teachers were sorted in fall, And then by winter, our goal was to have all students K through 5 sorted, and that was our goal. In the spring, we've spent a lot of time, and I'm just going to speak briefly to that because they're going to talk the majority of it, but we have spent a lot of time with the House app and really focusing on how the House system ties into the Portrait of a Learner. So I'm going to turn it over to Walker to speak more about that.
Hello, I'm Walker. I'm in Revere. So this is like, my slide's all about like how we sorted into houses and like how everybody got to go to the house that they thought would suit them best. So the way we did this was we had us 5th graders go first to test it out and see how it would work, and the teachers had cheered us on and we had sorted into our houses. And then a few weeks later, we had 4th all the way down to kindergarten go, and us 5th graders got to cheer on the 4th down to kindergarten kids when they were coming into their house. So as you can see here on our pictures, we have a few kids getting into their houses, some people handing out beads when they were getting sorted, stuff like that. Okay.
Hi, my name is Johan. So I picked Northside Essentials because one of the reasons is to the things that we want that our students act and would rather that they act instead of having bad attitude. One that I pick is respect other students' comments, opinions, and ideas. Because if other student comes from other country, if you respect their ideas, language, what they think, they will respect you. And when you respect them, they'll respect you back. And probably in the future, they'll remember you as the person who respect them and not like other people who might not respect them during their life. This could help. That's one of the reasons why the house system has been introduced. That's all.
My name's Leighton Mullins, and my slide is about how Northside has changed since launching the house system. Since the house system started, Northside has felt more like one big team. Students from different grades work together and feel like they belong, and it has brought our school together. They help each other reach goals for their houses. This has made students more proud of their school, helped them make better friendships, and created a happier and more welcoming place for everyone.
Hi, my name is CJ and I'm in Amistad. So my slide is about house points, and so we get house points for doing things that are really good for other people and for us. And an example is I was helping students in my class and I got a house point.
One more thing I wanted to say about the house system, just positive feedback we've gotten from teachers is, again with that slow rollout, we wanted to make sure everybody was ready, but we've gotten feedback as the new year's getting ready to start, and the teachers have asked for more. Like, we want more house events, we want more house celebrations, and so that really speaks to Ms. Taylor and myself about how successful it has been. So we're really excited about what we've achieved thus far and then where we're going next year.
Thank you, students. Thank you very much.
One of the other things at Northside that we are really proud of are our Saddle Up Days. Over the years, they have evolved, and this year, throughout those 4 days, we really focused on each grade level had a community service project. So they found ways to give back to our community in real ways. And then through those, the grade levels, 1st through 5th, did exhibitions the last few weeks where they talked to community members or authentic audiences about what they learned and about their project. The 5th grade, they went out into Midway, went out into the community, talked to city and county officials, learned how to truly make a positive impact in their community. Once they learned about that, they got in partners and created real ideas on how to improve Midway. And you're going to hear about one tonight. And then some of those partners are actually going to present at the city council meeting on May 4th in Midway. So we're just really excited about the positive impact they can make. And with the exhibitions, we piloted a defensive learning with 5th grade with a few of them. So you're going to hear one of our students share her Saddle Up project, but also her journey of learning through this school year and last.
Hi, I'm Scarlett Bailey. It's nice to meet you. Today I'm going to be presenting you the defense of learning. So these are our Saddle Up Day project driving questions. These questions help us be the best that we possibly could on this project and just helped us with the overall slides. So this is our idea and its impact. So my Saddle Up Day idea is adding a splash pad in the city of Midway. This addition to Midway would benefit parents and kids in the community. It would be a great place for people to come on a hot summer day, and people from different counties might come and enjoy the splash pad. So this is me actually presenting my Saddle Up Day project. I'm going to be telling you how this project helped me be all of different portraits of a learner. So how this project helped me be a resilient learner is we were being independent and coming up with ideas for Midway on our own. We had to also support our reasons, so that was very difficult. How as a reflective collaborator is you had to work with a partner and agree each other on your opinions, and you have to do a fair share of the project, so sometimes that may be difficult if someone disagrees with that. I had to be an empathetic communicator because I had to listen and be respectful to my partner. And for the splash pad, I was thinking about the kids at Midway when I was doing this project. How I had to be a creative problem solver is we had to think of ways to make Midway better, and my partner and I had to be creative with what we wanted to add and try to make ours a little different from everyone else's. So last but not least, I had to be a responsible contributor we had to come up with an idea to positively impact Midway. Our goal was to add a splash pad so kids around the Midway and Woodford County community could enjoy it and have fun. So this is my elementary school journey. So as you can see, this is me doing my 5th grade wax museum. I was Taylor Swift. So I had to use a creative problem solver skills by finding and researching information. Sometimes it was difficult to find information that was relevant to the project, so I had to be a problem solver. I also had to create a board for the presentation, and you can see that behind me. It was a lot of work to keep up with all the pieces for the board. I had to show creativity on the board myself. We had to add quotes and information about our characters in order to get a good grade. So I had to add that while also making it a little bit of me because I love Taylor Swift. What you just heard right there was my 4th grade biography bottle, my bad. So I was Simon Kenton, and what we had to do is we had to make a character out of a bottle based on our person, and we had to record a video about that person in like 10 seconds. So I used a resilient learner skills by finding and researching historical information. Sometimes it's difficult because it was all done independently. Learning research skills was challenging and could be difficult at some times, so I had to persevere with my learning. So the last one I have here for you today is my 5th grade reading kindness campaign project. So I had to use reflective collaborative skills by working well with the group. Sometimes we disagreed. We had to come up to agreement for our project. If someone in the group didn't agree with the idea, we had to be flexible and come up with a compromise. So these are our next steps in growth. So I still need to grow within the area of reflective collaborator. I need to work on compromising with others better and seeing the good in people's ideas. I am confident in my own ideas, but I need to get better in seeing the value of other people's ideas. Next steps for middle school. These are things I could do better in middle school to help me be a reflective collaborator. One of them is I will try my best to branch out and see positive in other people's ideas so that we can work together and join our ideas. Another one is I'll seek out opportunities to work with others when given a chance. Do you guys have any questions?
In about, when you get to be a senior in high school, I want you sitting right there. I want you sitting right there so I can listen. Maybe not me, but others can listen and learn from you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions, or is that all?
Fantastic presentation.
Great job.
Love your confidence and how you delivered that information. That was amazing.
Thank you.
You did so good. I've seen adults falter in presentations, and you did so well with just talking about your slides, but also elaborating and sharing information. Very dynamic and engaging presenter, so good job.
I would just add that I think there are a ton of opportunities for a young lady with your talents and your skills. So you just be looking for things like the Governor's School for the Arts or entrepreneurs or just Governor Scholars in general. Lots of things for middle school age kids, lots of opportunities that you can go really anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world. Like, you're gonna be going places, girl. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You had some very good representation for Northside
Yes.
tonight. This
Yes,
is nice.
you can see we have lots of reasons to be proud, and we are very proud to be thoroughbreds. And thank you so much for letting us share tonight.
Ms. Taylor, could I add one thing?
Absolutely.
As a member of the Midway community, I can attest that the mayor, the city council members, the business people, the community citizens love the students of Northside, and they love to be able to help you. And I'm sure that is a big help so that they can get out and meet people and do things.
Yes, those
It's a
Saddle
great-
Up days are just full
Yeah.
of community in the building and us out in the community. It's a great, being in Midway is a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
for
and
our school.
I like when you all are walking around and going in, knocking on doors. You all do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know, sorry, I'm just gonna talk really fast. I went to Northside myself, K through 5th. I loved my time at Northside. I still am in contact with a couple of those teachers. Miss Perry and Miss Caldwell and Miss Castro were all amazing, and they're amazing teachers, and there's a wonderful staff there, and they are so supportive of their students. And I did all of those projects they showed, and I still have mine. They're in my mom's closet somewhere, and they're amazing building blocks into a child's education. So I love that you all are still doing that.
Thank you. Those are great traditions. We want to keep going.
We'll keep an eye out for that splash pad because I know a lot of kids will be excited about that.
Well, she had some confidence, didn't she? I like what she said. You know, I know my own abilities, but I need to be Northside.
I love it. I get to respect other people. I was like, you know what?
Oh, preach it, sister, preach it. Outstanding.
I probably still struggle with that. I'm like,
All right. I think everybody's headed out, so we'll invite Dr. Rayburn up to give us the new high school project update.
Dr. Rayburn, I wouldn't want to follow her, but have fun.
I am not as energetic or entertaining, so best of luck to you all. Hopefully you stay awake. Today's presentation is going to be brief because there's not much that's happened with the high school project as a whole. We are closing up and trying to get everything done, but I do want to show you the contingency is sitting at 696. We were at 700 last time. That is because due to the striping of the parking lot came in. We didn't have that originally on the bid, so we did have to pay that extra little bit to cover the cost of striping for the first time. After that is up to the school to continue the striping of the gravel lot in the back. And here are some pictures of the parking lot that are available. We did not number them as that was the design preference of the high school, that they did not want that more of an open first come first serve. And I do see students parking there, so hopefully it is helping alleviate that some parking, but this is just a closer look to that parking lot. All right, any questions?
Can you remind us how many more spots that provided?
By the time we were done striping, we had 108 striped spots.
Good.
Perfect.
So
And this
well above the
parking,
70.
This parking lot is a saving grace. I can get into the parking lot in the mornings. There aren't random cars just parking in my parking spot anymore. This has been a blessing in disguise. So, and you know, kids are already posting about it on social media, on their Snapchat stories about how much they love it. So this has been received very well. And I know the school is handling it super well, and they're all really appreciative of it. So thank you to the board for allowing this to happen.
Thank you for sharing that. Does anybody else have any, or did you have anything else? Anybody have any questions?
I just have one question about the punch list. I know that I want to make sure we understand the warranties on some of the larger things like our HVAC system. Those do not begin until we close this project out. Is that right?
It doesn't begin until they say that the has been completed.
Okay.
And so we're not at the
We're not
completion
there
of
yet.
the certain things that have been struggling.
Uh-huh.
We're not completed there. And so they're still actively working on that. Every week we get an update, so.
If there's anything that we can do as a board to help, you know, push things along so that they're completed, you know, well and correctly,
Yes.
let us know what we
Will
can
do.
do to help.
Yep, not a problem.
Thank you very much. Next, we will ask Mr. Asher to come up for the curriculum and instruction update.
Good evening. I too am relatively brief. I do want to just recognize just the exceptional job that Northside did once again,
Yes.
bringing our portrait to life. It makes myself as a representative of the CNI team really proud to see how that has come to life. And each and every month you see the different twist that each of the schools put into that. But they obviously have really bought into it, and it just continues to evolve. Which is why, and I still don't have official recognition of this, but I mentioned our accreditation, but also our CBE, competency-based education. We will, so I've been told, in fact, be the first district in the state to receive such recognition. So looking forward to that, and once it's official, once we have the official report, I will be sharing that with you. But moving ahead, so this point of the year, as has been mentioned, we're nearly done, 5 weeks roughly. So we're at the point where we are trying to finish out strong, but also planning for next year. So it is spring assessment season, so we're currently in iReady testing for reading and math both at elementary and middle school. One exception to this, and this is due to legislation K through 2, due to the Read to Succeed legislation, they have to take that assessment within the last 14 instructional days, just like our KSA for third through high school. So that's been one change this year. Makes it a little tricky in terms of scheduling and human resources and so on and so forth, particularly for students who have accommodations that we have all that going on at once, but they've done a nice job staggering that to make sure it's done within the last 14 instructional days. So speaking of that, it begins May 8th, KSA I should say, Kentucky Summative Assessment begins May 8th at the high school, and will continue on various dates throughout the three levels, elementary, middle, and high, for about a 2-week period, wrapping up on May 22nd. And then they'll have that last week for all the end of the year activities. Beyond the assessments, teachers continue with high quality instruction in this home stretch as we get into that and get into the stretch and just balancing it with fun end of the year activities and events. Looking ahead to the summer, we will do our Best Practice Academy once again, rave reviews and how we did it a conference style last year where teachers have choice of what sessions that they will have. A number of us will be presenting such sessions, so really using our internal capacity to deliver those. So that will be looking forward early August when we come back. We'll be having summer school once again. We have condensed it a little bit just for savings purposes. But there will be 4 weeks of instruction at both elementary and middle school level. So 2 in June, 2 in July. We are helped by that Pearson grant that signed off on, the partnership yet again, that helps provide those additional tutors, curriculum resources, and also for the fun events that they do for the elementary kids, because you got to have a little hook for them to attend, and a couple of trips there and events for just for encouragement. Woodford County High School will do their credit recovery, and as the years have gone on, we've been able to reduce that, and that's a good thing at the high school level because there's less credits to recover. So kudos to their school within a school program they're taking care of that during the school year. Also, they did the winter school in years past that have really helped that. And then one additional, you've heard me talk a lot more this year about our migrant education program. And so they will be doing a summer camp as well in July, a week long. They are very encouraged as far as what the requirements of that funding is to keep them engaged in the summer. So they'll be having a big camp later on in July. But as I said, wrapping up this year, but planning ahead through summer and into the fall. Any questions for me?
I'm glad to hear about the migrant education camp in the summer. I think that's going to be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Mr. Asher.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. We do not have any public comment. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Moving into our regular agenda, can I have a motion to accept notification of personnel matters?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Can I have a motion to approve minutes of the March board meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Can I have a motion to accept notification of payment of bills?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. Can I have a motion to approve the March financial treasurer's report?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. And I'll invite Dr. Gribbins up for that.
Good evening. So we have the March financials. I think the most important one will be on slide 3. So as we go through them, this is the March. You can see month to date there underneath the arrows, both for revenue and expenditures. And like I said, I think slide 3 is the one that's most catching, that we're on a really favorable trend. So you can see total revenue to date. Compared to last year, we're about 1% behind where we were last year. But more importantly, the expense side, we're 7% behind. So do the math, we're actually a 6% improvement year over year. So that continues that favorable trend the last couple of months. And so we're really happy about that. And as we continue to go through the rest of the fiscal year and then into next year's planning. Here's your tax collection. We're about, I know the question was asked last board meeting, we're about 96% complete with taxes. Really, the only thing outstanding is some late taxes, utility taxes, and some of those things. But the bulk of it we've received for this year. Again, this is your summary of your tax. Fund 1. Again, here's the yearly total. So we're at just over 28 million. You can see it broken out by the individual tax area. And a little bit more broken out in detail by month. Again, same total, just different breakout. Here's our special revenue fund 2. In good spot year to date, pretty close. District activity funds. School activity, again, for the fiscal year, we're in good standing. Food service, little lopsided for the month. There was a question about what did that look like over the last couple of years. So just to kind of give you insight there, looking back 4 years, so the 4 years ago, 3 years ago, had positive contributions to the general fund. The last 2 years, negative contributions from the general fund, but the 4 years total, they've made a positive contribution of a little over 180,000 to the general fund. But what we see is that kind of trend over the last couple of years is kind of down. So that's something to think about long term.
Are we trending needing general fund contribution this year or not needing general fund
Yeah, we went
contribution this year?
from contributing 2 years to kind of even, and then the last 2 years is taking from the general fund. It really started when we did the free-for-all. That's really kind of depleted that account that they have, and then every year since then, we're kind of in the red as far as pulling from the general funds.
Well, in all fairness, I do believe that there were some expenditures out of that account for equipment, for things for the high school kitchen, for paying ourselves for running the program, for some things like that. So I really would like to kind of look at all of that and see if, just maybe take a deeper dive into this, because obviously we can't be running a negative balance and having the general fund cover it. But I do think that there are some maybe different opportunities now with the community, what's it called, CEP?
Yes.
With the CEP, that maybe we didn't have those options before, maybe before you had to be 100% or you couldn't charge, and now I think there have been some kind of tweaks to it. So Courtney's probably really aware of all of that.
Yes,
but
she
it would
is.
be nice to kind of know, because we want to strike a balance. Obviously, we don't want it to be negative, but on the other hand, we want to be as supportive as possible to our students that are eligible for that, and to just make the best decision. So we kind of have to have the information of what are the positives, what are the negatives, what would this look like, and just kind of a really good idea about that sort of thing.
We do plan to have a root cause analysis at the work session on these. Yeah, we're working on it.
I was gonna say, because you mentioned that we did the CEP program and that kind of depleted, so I think it would be a good reminder for everybody to see what that amount was at the budget session, just to know kind of how big of a hit we took from that and why, because we just weren't getting the reimbursement that we thought we would. So that'll be important to include in there.
Well, also the recovery that we've had, given the current use of funds and that sort of thing, kind of what Ms. Springate was mentioning, versus are we over in costs? Because I'm going to say again, I really would like to do everything that we possibly can to not raise our food service costs to our families. So I'm just going to reiterate that, and would love to see that as part of the budget meeting.
And the last one for our ETC, again, they're really close this month. Last month, they were on a positive contribution. They've kind of continued that trend. They're just slightly off of self-sustaining from revenue to expenditures this month. So they've continued that trend. So that's a good positive trend as well. And that concludes the slides. Any questions or anything I can answer?
Dr. Gibbons, I'd like to thank you very much for your excellent report, and I'd also like to compliment you on how well you answer the questions that we have at the next meeting. And I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to say too, I'm very thankful and very grateful for all the work that's been done around the evaluation of our expenses and ways that we can look at reducing those things, and really being honest and evaluating what our situation is and how we can do everything that we can to improve it. So I really appreciate all that hard work. I know it's been ongoing, so I'm very grateful.
Team effort all around.
That's right. Anybody else for Dr. Gribbins? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor of approving the March financial report, treasurer's report?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Can I have a motion to approve shortened school days, school week requests?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Can I have a motion to approve the hardship requests?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. And can I have a motion to approve the CEP Certified Evaluation Plan?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson,
Second.
second by Ms. McCowan. And does anybody have any questions? I know there's a attachment on this one. So.
I looked at the attachment. This is not related to the degree and certificate additives, correct?
Okay.
This is just the certified staff, correct? Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything in that document. It's a long document.
Oh, yes. It's annual review, and so you approve each year, but this is just for certified staff.
Okay, thank you so much for the clarification.
And do you mind just to do like, I mean, it's 77 pages, just an overview of has anything changed? What are the reasons for any of the changes? That kind of thing?
Sure. So last year, there were big changes last year because the law changed. So we went from a 3-year summative cycle to a 5-year summative cycle. This year, the things that changed were members on the committee, names, dates, and there was some clarification in the way the admin was written. There was wasn't specific enough, and so we got a little bit more specific with it. And then there was one timeline typo that we corrected in a chart.
Very good. Anybody else have any questions? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right. Next, we're going to move on to our discussion items. And so, Dr. Rayburn, I'll turn it over to you to talk about Senate Bill 181 / House Bill 67, traceable communication.
Mr. Brickler, you did not say it right. Go for it. We're all watching.
What? What am I supposed to say?
6-7.
Oh, no. My kids would kill me.
We left that not in the new, the big 2-6, no 6-7, the big 2-6.
All right, so today we are going to go over Senate Bill 181 just as information for you all. There are no board action items for this one. There will be when we go to policy review, once we get KSBA to do that. But this had an emergency clause to it, and so that means it became law at the signature of the governor, which happened on the 13th of April, which has significantly improved our what we have. So some of the things that they have updated since the original Senate Bill 181, so they kept the House Bill 67. They actually saved that number because of the 6-7 thing that the middle schoolers and elementary school kids love to say. So they kept that number just for a school-related one. It's not just pertaining to the communication clause, the traceable communication. There are some other things which we will go over tonight as well. But some of the things that were updated is what is a school district employee, what is a qualified school volunteer. So they now have it as a qualified school volunteer, not just a school volunteer. They updated language on family members. They added some affiliations with commercial and local government affiliations, and then they said what exactly is a private electronic communication. This will be shared after this meeting with our principals tomorrow, and then we will do a video for all staff members so that they are aware of the changes. The commercial or local government affiliation means basically if you are employed outside of the school district with a different commercial affiliation of any kind, you can notify the board, which is the district, notify the district of the affiliation, and then if anything was to come because of you doing that, then you are covered under this waiver that you don't have to have a specific waiver. I'll get into more of that in just a few minutes. And then if you're associated with any kind of local government, city government, county government, that also covers you in this one. They updated the language on all the different ways that you can be a family member. Don't ask me to say the one word on there because we should all have a practice of how to say the word that's on there that nobody knows how to say. But basically that word means that you are blood relatives of that individual. So in some form or fashion, somewhere down the line, you're a blood relative of that one. Also, it takes care of step parents by having the adult live in the same household as the student. And then it allows for some language if a parent is absent due to legal responsibilities that is covered as a parent. I'll take your responses at the end of the meeting. Good luck. A qualified school volunteer is not a school district employee or enrolled in the school district, so these are not students, these are not school employees, but they have served the school or school district at any point during the school year. So thinking about that, it's like our student teachers, non-faculty coaches or assistant coaches, non-faculty sponsors of extracurricular activities. So these are we are classifying them, we give them an email address, we're considering them on staff. They're just not a faculty member of the district. And then if the board decides they can make it even more, what's that qualifying event, but that is not required. But any student service role that we designate as the board to be a volunteer is what the school volunteer is. It does touch on the student teacher situation, so it's anyone that has done it throughout the whole school year. So if a student taught in the fall, they are no longer a student teacher. They cannot have communication with our students outside of the traceable communication, even after they're no longer in our placement for the remainder of the school year. So it covers that. School district employee is a school administrator, certified, classified, or a contractor hired by the district. That is language that has been added to provide direct student services, or compensated non-faculty or assistant coaches. So this is where if we're paying a stipend position to a coach, they are now compensated, so they're covered under the district employee, not the volunteer. It also added language in there for KDE members and cooperative members that are directly relating to services to our school, meaning they're showing up, they're part of it. Dr. Jones used to be a KDE consultant that reported to school. She would have followed under this rule for that school district she reported to. And it does not involve students that are enrolled in the district. So student workers are not classified under this law. So they did clarify that. Private communication is the one-on-one, so they specified exactly what that private communication is. One-on-one conversations or in group conversations that's only accessible to the participants. So they added a whole bunch to the list that does not include, and that doesn't, there's a lot on here, so it doesn't include any virtual school instruction that is occurring with the one-on-one students, academic feedback, any type of mechanism that we use for academic feedback, electronic translation services, communication that was provided for the purpose of communication with the parent, but the student answers the phone. That's not in violation of this. Electronic communication where a parent is also one of the recipients. That's different. So if I was to text a student and their parent was on that text message, I'm not violating the law anymore. Electronic communication with 2 or more school employees or qualified volunteers as with that one student. So it's basically, it's saying if there's 2 or more staff members or volunteers on that text message, you can have that one-on-one conversation because it's no longer private communication. There is somebody else involved. Electronic communication between the SRO and the DPP with the principal, vice principal, or mental health specialist provider that is school sponsored, that deals directly with any kind of safety concerns. At one point they thought that calling on the phone was an issue, so they clarified that one. Social media posts and comments that are not private, so any public comment, you are not communicating with the student. And then electronic communication related to commercial products or services. DoorDash, students like to DoorDash, that's one of their things. And a lot of times our workers, our employees are also DoorDash drivers. This covers them provided they disclose to the district that they are employed for this other company, so that if something was to happen, they could show I was directly working for this company that I disclosed to you. It's no longer a violation of this one. And then secure healthcare messaging. It also doesn't restrict any emergencies. It specifically says if there's an emergency or believed to be an emergency, that you can have direct one-on-one communication with a student, but you have to self-report that you did it, and you're covered under that one. This is a new one. It is related to field trips. If the parent gave the student permission to go on a field trip, we no longer have to have a communication form filled out for that staff member to have one-on-one communication with the student. I would still recommend having a second adult or in a group of peers and not just one-on-one conversations, but it does allow that. Work-based learning experiences, and then directly related to the commercial or local government. All right, so any questions related to the communication, traceable communication side?
Couple things that I noticed that stuck out. For staff, one of the big things is they have to disclose if they have any other employment. And then it also covers we have healthcare partnerships, so it would cover all of those like outside entities as well that we have contracts with, right?
Yes. So secure messaging that are occurring through, if there was a mental health specialist that was contracted through Cumberland Family, they communicate through their secure system with the student. That's secure healthcare messaging. That's not covered under this one and not required to be reported.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can you define volunteer? Because before, volunteer was defined by anybody who volunteers at our schools.
It is not just volunteer. It is a qualified school volunteer. So they updated the language to say
that's what I was going to say.
Qualified school volunteer. And so think of it as our coaches and our assistant coaches that are not paid, not compensated, our student teachers, and anybody that would fall under the board decides that they're participating in a school activity, that they're a volunteer regular, that they're leading, on a regular basis, then that would be a qualified school volunteer.
Okay, so now
according
just
to
your
the law.
normal parent, guardian coming in and volunteering in the school, this no longer applies to?
Yeah, so as soon as I get through all of the communication with this, then I'm removing all of those from our list.
My next question is, does team parents fall under that? Because we have, like, for example, I'm one of the team moms for one of the teams, and so I communicate solely through Parent Square.
It says, if you're a non-faculty coach or assistant coach or a non-faculty sponsor, then yes, but a team mom is not a faculty member.
Well, because we have, like, as you think about, like, the communication to the whole group and that sort of thing, not necessarily one-on-one communication, but group meetings and things of that nature. We had that experience with WISA, like, so now that wouldn't be an issue anymore.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And if there's ever any thoughts of, is this violating, throw another staff member on there or another qualified volunteer, and you're covered.
So as long as you've got other eyes, you're good to go. Okay, fantastic.
So that's the traceable communication. There are 3 parts to this law. Okay, so on your desk, you should have copies of the law, because instead of typing it all out, it's all brand new language here that I want to go over with you. So yours starts on page 9, and it's got budget. So the budget on page 9 is where you start. This outlines the, so other districts in our state that have bigger issues in fish to fry than we do are probably more of the reason why this was all put on place, but now it's everybody. So on or January 31st, we still have to resubmit to you our draft budget with estimated revenues. And so on May 31st or before May 31st, we have to provide you, the board, at least 2 weeks prior to the public meeting required in this paragraph. The superintendent shall submit to the local board a complete proposed tentative budget for the local board's consideration. That's different. And so let's talk real quick about what that's going to look like. On May 18th, that's our next board meeting. That it has, because it has to have a public meeting and it has to have public comment, it has to be a regular or a special that deals directly with the budget. So you will receive the tentative draft budget for your consideration on May 4th. That is your 2 weeks before that one. And so we will not be able to make any changes to it. We can address it, we can change it, but the report that we're giving to you is from the superintendent. This is her recommendation to the board at that time. You can still vote to change it, you can still vote to do all of that stuff, but know that we are meeting that law on May 4th for this school year. And then on the 30th or September 30th, on or before, we have to do our working budget. And all of these things have to be on there. So I'll let you read that in your own spare time. Nothing really changes here. The law that was on the books related to the 4% requirement, if it goes above the 4%, did not pass. So that is not a requirement to automatically put it onto the ballot. That did not pass the law. So that is not a law. And then the public meeting requirements are there for the working budget on the 3rd page. The next thing that we have to do is on your all's page 13, which is on the website. And this is just for your information. We are now required to put on the district website all of these things for the previous month. And we have to go figure out how to get all of these reports out of Munis because some of these reports don't exist. So best of luck to us. The following things have to be on there for the previous month. There are 6 things that are supposed to be on there. They're not required to be reported at the board meeting. They are just required to be put on there as the website. So we will, as we report for the monthly statements and monthly financial reports, we will also have those on the website at the time of upload. So your final Friday upload will be at the time when all of this is available to the public as well. That is our goal. If our school's budget or district's budget ever falls below 4%, we also have to include credit card statements on there. And then the last thing that we have to provide on there is the superintendent's salary and the superintendent's compensation plan. So the contract that the superintendent, Dr. Jones, signs has to be placed on the school website on the same page. So that is all that is there for that one. So there are 3 big parts to this one. And then there are a few other emergency laws that came into effect, but they all basically point back to this one. because they just changed the laws to say the same thing that this one already said. So I don't know why that happened, but I don't make the rules, we just follow them. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And our last thing on the agenda tonight is the evaluation process that Dr. Jones will review.
Yes, so for my evaluation as a new superintendent, there are a couple additional requirements. And so in your folder and then also in your email later after the meeting concludes, you'll have a digital copy of my capstone presentation as well as my self-reflection, my self-assessment. And within that, there are links to evidence. So you'll have a PDF of the presentation and you can review all of the evidence over the next couple weeks, really 3 weeks if you need to. I mean, I want you to do that. And then you will, Mr. Brickler will send out I'll present this publicly on May 12th at the work session. And then Mr. Brickler will send each of you a form for you to assess my performance on all 5 standards with comments. And then he will set a deadline for that. And then I think we're saying now the June board meeting.
We may do, and this can be discussion, since we have all the tentative budget and it's the retirement celebration in the May meeting. I was thinking about moving this where we go into executive session and talk about it to the June meeting, if that's okay with everybody.
I think it's a great idea.
The June?
Yeah, it is.
June 15th?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. I looked it up today.
I think it makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, it's more of it's closer to being a full year anyway.
Right.
I know, so yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, so we'll have the executive session at that June 15th.
Yeah. So, and then you will, as a board, you will take that evaluation, both on the 5 standards and overall, and then that will be reported to the Educational Professional Standards Board, and they will decide whether they give me my official superintendent certification. So, love you, love each of you. All right, so that's all on that.
Perfect, thank you. So more to come on our to-do list. We'll get those documents. And that is it. Can I have a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Motion by Mr. Wilson.
Second.
Second by Ms. McCowan. All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Thank
right.
you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Katie.
5-0. Motion approved.
What time